Just Eff It.
Hi, I'm Romy, an identity coach helping others who struggle with their sexual identity and families of queer youth find their path of understanding and acceptance.
And I'm Carla, a mom empowerment coach empowering moms to own their new identities and motherhood journeys.
And together we are the EFFing Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres
who have changed their lives through an Eff It moment. So here we go. Just Eff It.
All right, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Mamacita Monday, Mompreneur Monday, the Eff It Madres.
Yeah, the Eff It Mondays. I know that doesn't rhyme.
The Eff It Mondays.
The Eff It Mondays.
The Madre Mondays. Carla, who are we?
We are the Eff It Madres. I am Carla. You are Romy. This is Romy. And we're two friends, two best friends, and two mamas, two Latinas that had an Eff It moment and was like, let's start this podcast and talk to other women who have had an Eff It moment or are going through it like we were and still are, because they can be lengthy. And for people who want to have that moment, it's a shift in your life where you realize, okay, this isn't where I want to be. I'm not happy anymore. I need to get out of it. Something's pulling me towards something else, and I need to make a change. Fuck it, let's go. And to do that as a mother, as a parent, is a big deal. So we wanted to talk to moms who've done it because we need the motivation. We know people out there need the motivation to take that first step because it's the scariest one to take. So
it is. And I was like, I did a story today because you and I listen to so many podcasts all day and they help us so much. And then I was thinking about this space that we created and I'm like, I hope it helps people as much as like when we listen to ones and they inspire us, you know? I hope this contributes in somebody's car ride or morning or workout. We are actually having a comeback mama. It's funny because we've had this podcast now for about a year, right? Like we've had it a year. Over a year. Yeah. And so it's kind of nice to like revisit with some of the moms that have said Eff It with us, shared their Eff It moment, but like are like in it, moving with it like we are. And so today we have my other best friend, Jen, who you got to meet at our Eff It Madre event in Austin. She's a solid one, and she had her Eff It moment about when we had our Eff It moment and was one of the first people on our podcast. So we're going to have her back today and just kind of see what it's been like since she said Eff It and where she's been in that journey right now. So this is kind of the fun part to revisit with people.
Yeah. See where she's at and what has that Eff It mindset shift brought about, because it's definitely done stuff for us.
Girl.
So
yes.
Yeah, which we were going to have to talk about that in a separate episode, but all right, we're going to bring her in.
Perfect. All right, everybody, we have Jen Brady, my one, my dear, my love. She is back with us. We are so grateful, Jen. We talked about how you were one of the first mamas to join us when we started the podcast over a year ago, and how you had an Eff It moment pretty much around the same time we had an Eff It moment.
Yeah. Almost exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Eff It moment that you had a year ago was you've been a hairdresser and you wanted to start tattooing. You wanted to start, you were basically at the time, like you had literally just bought a tattoo gun and you were wanting to tattoo like nipples on women that had mastectomies or sort of, any sort of like breast surgery to just, like help these people regain a sense of, that's a very traumatic thing to happen. So you wanted to do that. And so it's been a year, because that was literally like you had just bought a tattoo gun. So where are you at since you've had that moment?
Well, let me say this first. I had just literally bought a really expensive tattoo gun that I don't use because it's like not,
I had couldn't send it back?
And
I guess you can send that back, right?
No, you can't. No, if anybody wants a $900 tattoo gun. I know it's awful. Anyways, so where am I now? So we talked about a year ago. I think honestly it was in October or so when we talked.
Yeah.
So almost exactly a year. And so since then, so a few months after we talked in January, I took my first class. So I flew to Pennsylvania, and did a 6-day like in-person course. And that was where it all started. So since then, I don't know, what it'd be like 9 months since then, I've done trainings. I've shadowed a girl in Houston. I've done online trainings and watched procedures, and I've taken 4 models, and that's where I am. So I'm training. I'm in it. I'm doing it, and yeah, it's been wild. I still can't kind of believe it.
I've been able to watch it too, and I know that you also kind of got into, because we've been like talking through this, like identity, right? And people that like
Mm-hmm.
are also removing them
Yes.
by choice and want to feel comfortable in their skin, and how many avenues that you get to like help people. But like you said, F it, you bought the gun, fine, you didn't know, right? Which one to
Right.
do.
But
You
that
signed
was
up.
like,
Yeah.
that was, it had to happen.
Yeah.
Like it had to happen for me, for the momentum, for the energy, whatever. I mean, hindsight.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have actually, like, you signed up for that course, you flew there. You
Which, by the way, at the time, I had to get over a major, I have like a major irrational fear of flying, and I hadn't flown anywhere by myself. I mean, I don't even know. Maybe I even haven't since I have had kids. My oldest is 9, and I flew there by myself, and I did it like a big girl.
Wow.
It really was big.
it was.
It really was.
I
So
think we
yeah, so
all
I flew
have
there. Yes.
levels of fear flying on
Yeah.
here, so we can
Yeah, we do,
totally get
all of
that.
us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Remy and I have, yeah. Yep.
So we all know, like, to leave your kid and like get on a plane to fly somewhere that isn't like you have to be there. You're choosing to do
Yep.
this. You're
Yep.
choosing to purchase this. You're choosing to go there. Um, in being in this last year of like the momentum of still moving forward, like us as well, all of us have still been consistently going. So first of all, like, I'm proud of all of us because we all said F it, and here we are a year later, still
Totally.
moving in that direction. What kind of
Totally.
things have you come across in this F it moment this last year? I know Carla and I have hit ours. Like, what kind of things have come up that could have slowed you down and didn't slow you down? And how'd you keep moving?
Ooh. Let's see. I mean, things that, you know, have, well, there's two ways to look at it. So, I could say things that have slowed me down and have gotten in the way and have kind of bummed me out have been, um, kind of a lack of time during the day, in times, at times, to focus on it. Like if there's a lot going on with my job or with the kids or whatever. Um, and just those seasons of your energy, like your personal energy and what you feel capable of, that you're able to accomplish at home in your time, right?
Yeah.
And so that that has it frustrated me off and on, because I would look at those, like, I'll just call them dry patches, as failures,
Mm-hmm.
and fear of, Jen, can you really do this? Do you really, is this just going to fizzle away? You've gone however many weeks and you haven't touched your tattoo gun. But recently, I would say a couple weeks ago, I flipped that script and realized, no, that's not what it means. Like, stop it. This is a long game. You are training to tattoo people. Stop. It's been 9 months. You've done a lot. You've tattooed multiple people. Like, stop. Um, and I think a lot of that, I mean, we're all hard on ourselves, right? But
Yes.
before I had kids, I, like, my MO when I get a big idea like that is to run, and I don't stop. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stopping. There's no season of, whatever. It's just go, go, go. But then when you have a family, it doesn't necessarily work that way. And your energy is, the amount of energy, not like, our positive, whatever, just the amount of energy we have is different. And then where we have to put our time. So I don't even know if I answered your question.
You totally,
I don't even remember what it was.
no, yeah, that was exactly. And Carla, I mean, don't you feel like that's even what we've hit? You've hit that, right? Like that, like burnout. Can I keep
Yeah.
doing this side thing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and the time thing is like a real thing. And like
Yeah.
I can like for me, I do my job too, and then the other days I can only do my other things really when my daughter's napping. And so it's like I feel the same as you, Jen. It's like am I doing what I need to do? Am I doing enough? Like
Right.
super super hard on myself. I mean, I guess my next question for you, and I'm really curious because this has come up for me. I don't know if this has come up for you, Romy, but like when you have this moment, when I had this moment, it when we all have these moments, it opens up all of these avenues for these things that you like. You're going to try new things. When you try new things, it opens up these like, you know,
Yes.
questions about your abilities, questions about your self-worth, questions
Yeah.
about like, is this even something that I'm capable of doing? And
Yep.
so I know for myself, it was like a hard look in the mirror and really seeing things that I was actually surprised to see, which was I'm not actually as confident as I thought I was. You know what I mean? So like,
Yep.
did you
Yep.
have those moments too when you had, started like training and taking on these new things? Did you have those sorts of feelings as well?
A lot of it has been, am I confident enough to reach out to the places I need to get more models, right? Because I'll say like the artwork side of it, the tattoo side of it has felt so good and has felt so natural. And so that is extremely encouraging, right? So in that way, I'm not like, oh, can I, create this art? Definitely fear of coming across a situation that I've never seen before, which is going to happen. I
Yeah.
mean, and on a different level, but Carla, you get, a head of hair in your chair and you're like, what, and whatever they want, XYZ. There's a long time where you have a lot of new situations.
I mean, I can't even imagine that fear because I know Jen, like all of us have worked like in some sense of like beauty, right? And like somebody comes to you and what is this makeup going to look? What is this hair going to look like? Can we do it? But this is a permanent thing that you're learning to do. And you're giving somebody like a confidence that's permanent for them to sit in their skin. So even if you were the best, right, or had done it for years, you're going to come across
Yeah. Things you've never
situations.
seen. Right. And there's blood involved, guys. Like there's blood involved. Like, and some people are bleeders.
Yeah, but you've done such an incredible job. I've seen your work. You've been proud of your work. And I, as a friend who's watched this, and I think like I'd love to hear this part of it for you, because I know Carla and I get to see this part in each other through our podcast and the parts of us that have grown by doing that. The joy you feel when you go do this and the joy you feel when you're done, you it's still this magic and light in you. And we get that after we do these episodes, after we talk to
Yeah.
women, like we'll be like tired, burnout, like you said, all of us running our household, all the things that we do, right? And then we're exhausted. And then that's why we're having this conversation. We squeeze those moments in for ourselves to do these things that we want to do.
Yep.
And we're lit
Yep.
up afterwards. What
Yep.
has that felt like for you when you're done and you know that you're still doing this? Like how do you feel? Like where are you at with that?
I mean, it feels amazing because, after I've actually worked with somebody or in my trainings, it's like I have 1000% confidence that I am doing the right thing. Even when I'm at home practicing on my skins, which is, I spend a lot of time doing that. During the process, when I'm done, like it takes me back to Romy. This reminds me of a conversation we had today. It takes me back to like years and years and years ago in my life as an art student, as a teenager, whatever, just spending time, hours drawing or whatever, and what that feels like and how that fills my soul. And I, that is also how I know that this is the right thing, because I have not felt that in a long time. Like, I am drawing something that looks real, and it worked. Like
Yeah.
there's like nothing like that feeling for me. And it's really been since I was in school.
Yeah, Jen, but that's the important thing. And Carla, we all know this. Okay. And that's important for this space. We as moms lose those bits and pieces of us that felt so creative or alive. Sometimes we get into this
Mm-hmm.
routine, right? Like we make dinner, we go to work, we come home, when the baby goes to bed, we show up for the partner, we squeeze in a workout. It's like this like Groundhog Day. And all
Mm-hmm.
of us are going, F it. Like I've got to find that part of me again. And you
Mm-hmm.
tap into that when you're doing this.
Yeah.
Like that keeps you, I would assume that's what keeps you going. Tell me what's keeping you going.
Yeah. The fact that I enjoy it so much, the fact that it hits every desire that I could possibly have in a career, like everything. It's like what I love about hair, which is, I love doing hair, the actual hair and the creative part, but being with women, just chatting, supporting, sharing, whatever, that's huge. That fills my cup so much. And then this art, it's like, and then the greater purpose, which is
Right.
what I'm giving to somebody, like I just can't even imagine anything bigger. So that's what keeps me going, is like, fuck yeah, you chose good. Yes. Like that was a really good idea.
And it was. And it was.
I'm curious, what is your end goal? Like, what is the vision that you have for yourself? And like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put a time frame on it. Just like,
Sure.
what do you see? Because these effort moments can take a long time.
My end goal is to work in medical offices. So a lot of the artists that I know, you can kind of go one of two ways. And one is you're, an independent artist in your own space and finding people. And then the other route is to be a part of, have a network of medical facilities where they'll book you for, let's just say, like 2 days a month. They'll line up all of their patients who want to get that service. You go in, and you've got this day booked for you. And, you can have relationships with multiple hospitals or surgery centers. That is what I want.
Okay. Well, that's very specific. That's great that
Yeah.
you've got it like really narrowed down.
And it's amazing. And I've seen it and I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, I've
And if I
seen
ever
I've
needed a nipple,
Thanks.
I would be with you.
yeah, it really does look
Thanks.
very, very
Yeah,
realistic. It looks amazing.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
My question then, Jen, because you're in this, and I know we said we have those doubts, like almost imposter syndrome sometimes, or am I doing the right thing, or do I have enough time? Like for us to keep showing up and doing a podcast, for you to keep showing up and like reaching out and getting models, like, are there still fears about this for you? Because I know that exists when we say F it, we have those fears. Like, if I do this, what is this going to look like? Do those fears still come up for you?
Yeah, I would say that the current fears that I have are around getting models. I'm like, how am I going to be able to get more models? It's a brave thing to be a model. Like, let's be real. And I've had amazing women and like such good experiences. So that's my fear, is, am I going to be able to keep getting models to where then I can, charge more, get the portfolio to go into
Well,
the medical places that I want to be.
how are you getting them now? How have you been getting them?
Word of mouth. I guess I'm trying to think of, a lot of it was like the Instagram profile, but people that I knew through that. Like an old client, reaches out, and she knew me. I did her hair for a couple of years, and oh, my best friend has been wanting to get this done. I'm going to pass your info on. Just kind of, a degree or so of separation. Actually, I did my mother-in-law.
Oh.
So that was a direct I know.
That was such an intimate thing to be able to do that for her, and
Yeah.
really a beautiful
Yes.
thing to share, right?
Yes. And she was so amazing. Like when I was in my first, my first week of classes ever, and I'm sending my husband all these photos and I'm so excited. And he showed his mom, and she was like, "Tell Jen I'll be a model." Like when she comes back, like just right away, she was like, I'll be a model for her. I was like,
Wow.
wow, that's
I want to I
pretty
want to jump on
awesome.
that, Jen, because I think a lot of us, and Carla and I are in this, what we've been in this, I'll speak for myself, but Carla, getting clients, right? Getting coaching clients. Will I be able to, what if I hit a rock in the coaching session and I don't know what
Yeah.
to do because it's new, right? And what if it's a person, like, we have these fears, and then putting ourselves out there, claiming it, saying that I am this, right? Carla and I had to rip
Yeah.
that band-aid off at one point and be like, we are this, we are doing this. Like, for so many women listening who are going after something new, Jen, for you to create an Instagram account and put your work out there and claim that you do this because you do, and you've paid for the training and you're doing it much like us. How did that feel to put yourself out there? Because that's the fear so many women get held back on.
Yeah. You know what? And putting yourself out there, brand new, was a complete new experience for me because, I mean, previously, like, you don't post something unless it's great, like, period, dot. You just don't, Um, so like straight up, it felt, it felt brave because I posted the first ever tattoos
I
on
know.
skins that I did, and they, I mean, they're the first tattoos I ever did, so they look the way they look, and I'm like, that was brave of me to not be afraid that someone's going to look at that and say, like, oh God, like, seriously, she's awful,
Yeah, you
but
put yourself out there.
I put it out there, and I was like, you know what, I've seen people do this where they start their journey and they are not scared to say, I am learning something new. This is my process. This is how it's building. Boom, you know.
I mean,
And
Carla
it's
and I
got, and
did
it's
that
like,
when we started this. We didn't know what we were doing. We were having so many technical difficulties. We didn't know how to run a podcast, and we were vulnerable and honest and said, "Listen, like, you're on this journey with us, but we're going to put
yeah,
ourselves out there, right? This is what we're doing." And you did that.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And I mean, it hasn't backfired in any way. Like, it is outside of my mother-in-law. Like, I got models that way, and I've made a lot of connections that way. And, it, I mean, I did the right thing. Like, I know I did the right thing. And I like looking back on it, and being
Yeah.
like, oh, there's my little first little aerial. So cute.
Yeah, I think that is still, for me personally, something I'm still struggling with in regards to. I'm not like, Romy's very good about it. Like, she just puts herself out there. It's very, it's not a comfortable thing to do. And like you, Jen, like, you only put stuff out there that you are like, okay, I can stand behind this because I feel confident in it. But when you don't, it's like, I cringe. Like, for me, I cringe. Like, it's a really hard thing for me to do that. So I definitely have not put myself the way that Romy has put herself out there in regards to coaching. I've definitely held myself back, and still do, simply because I'm like, can I really do this? Like, you know what I mean? But you
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
just I just have to do it, like, slowly but surely I have to do that. Because otherwise we'll never see the other side of it. So it's
right,
good that
right.
I commend you for doing that, because I totally, that resonates with me very much. It's a scary thing.
Yeah, yes. Thanks, thanks,
Well, I
thanks.
think a lot of moms listening, that's why this is important, is that, like, you see us all doing these things, but you don't realize, like, ripping that band-aid off, right? Or like putting yourselves out there and stepping into shoes that, like, we're not used to wearing, right? Like, you guys
Yeah,
are comfortable being hairdressers. I mean, I'll put anything out there. Like, that's not my area of walls, right? But like, I get that. So like, when you step into something new, though, there is that imposter. Am I this? Can I be this? Am I claiming to be something that maybe I'm not qualified? And that's exactly
totally.
what we're trying to say. Fuck that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Everybody starts. Everybody starts. And
Somewhere.
and if you can try to push yourself to start out brave, it'll only help you.
Well, that brings me to Jen. Didn't you get like an invite to be a part of like a pretty cool group here in Austin? Can we share that?
I got one from my school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Okay.
actually something that would be nationwide. So my school has the first school that I went to has a nonprofit group where if women can't afford to get aerial tattooing, they will cover it. And so they have like a network of artists, and they put me on that list. They asked me if I wanted to be on the list of artists, and of course I said yes. And yeah,
You see, that's the kind of thing I remember when you got that. And like, it's kind of that validation that like you put yourself out there, you did that, and
yes,
they invited you to be a part of, a team that gets
yeah,
to do this for people that don't have the funds to do this for themselves. Like they trust your
yeah, it's
talent.
amazing. Yes.
Incredible.
And that was like, I will say, that class, that school was a huge confidence booster because they train people all the time. And they really kept telling me, like, you've got this. Like,
You do.
you've, like, the art, like, you get this, you've got this. She was like, should I let you tattoo me? Like, you've got this. Just, yeah. And
I mean, they see 1,000 people, right? They teach 1,000 people. So for them to
mhm,
reach out to you to be a part of a team that represents them,
yeah.
that's huge. That would be like our coaching, person reaching out to Carla and I and being like, "You're on our special team of coaches." Like I would just be like, "What? Like what?"
You'd be like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Do you have the right number? Me?
Yeah.
But like that's the kind of thing people don't realize. Like you put yourself out there, you did that, and then you were invited to be a part of that. And this is what we talk about so much. You got to push through all the hard stuff to see the
Yeah.
really beautiful things that are out there for you that you wouldn't have known.
Yep.
And how
Yep.
fulfilling that can be for you as a mom that's exhausted and tapped out at home, that's still looking for that like you magic, right?
Yep. Yep. And I just think it's so important for, like I said, for if you've had moments like that where you've made major changes in your life before you were a mom and it looked a certain way, you have to realize that it is probably not going to look that way. And it's a long game, and it's okay, and give yourself grace because it's just different. You're in a different chapter. It is do not compare.
I think that's a really, really good thing
Yes.
to say because it's true. Like I when you said that, I just remembered all the things that I did before I had a kid, and it's like you can get it going. Like you have nothing stopping you. You don't have to
Yep.
you know, and so you really do have to give yourself a lot of grace and understand that it is going to take time. I mean, all these people that have achieved amazing things, like I think there was a list of people who had like achieved all these things, they were all over like 45. Like it's like this shit takes time. Like just
Yeah.
let yourself trust the journey and not put a
Yep.
time, like a timestamp on it. That's why I was like, I don't know what
Yep.
time frame you have, and I'm not even gonna like ask
Yep.
you
Yep.
about
Yep.
that because like that would
Yep.
put too much
Appreciate
pressure on me to be like, I have
it.
no idea. Like I
Yep.
don't know. And just need to like go with the flow essentially and just
Yep.
trust.
Yep.
So thank you for saying
Yeah,
that
no.
because
You saying that, Jen, was like so key. I knew the minute she said it too that like hit both of us because I mean, we're a year into ours too, right? And like we don't know when it's going to be. We know the vision. We have the vision. It's clear like yours. I think all of us have very clear visions of what and why we're doing this, right? Our why is
Mm-hmm.
there, the vision is there. But we do have to have grace because we are also running households, working jobs, have kids, are in
Mm-hmm.
relationships. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
no longer us pre-moms handling our shit and being able to just be on our own clock,
Yep. Yep.
which is why it's so fucking huge right now.
Yep. Yes, yes, yes.
And I also think that there's some women out there that I want to say this to, because I also feel like your vision was very specific. Like you had a very specific vision, and I think like for a lot of people, and myself included, we have a vision, but it's not as specific as that. And I think a lot of the times, I know for myself, I feel like if I don't have it like really ironed out, that am I really gonna get there if it's not really ironed out? And then I start like being really hard on myself for that. I think
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
as long as you have an idea of what it is that you want, whether it's maybe freedom, maybe you want freedom in your life, maybe you want more peace in your life, maybe it's more of those more abstract things. Like, just know that just because it's that, and it's not like I'm going to be the CEO of this company, blah, 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 it's okay. Like, you're still, as
Yeah,
long as you are working towards something that is filling your cup, that's all
yeah.
that matters. And
Yeah, and
and
that's like
that's
the start. It,
yes.
it's going to spread out from there.
Yeah.
You hone in on that. Okay, so it's a general, so it's peace, whatever, and you find different ways to try to get that, and then it's just going to branch out.
Mhm.
It's going to get more specific and more specific. You know?
Yeah, and it might lead you to something a lot more specific at that point.
Yeah,
But if
yeah,
it starts out kind of vague, just know that that's okay. That's okay.
yeah, yeah. Yep, yep.
I mean, Jen, for you, and I'm speaking because I talk to you on the daily, right? And Carla, I talk to you like we are all, I'm very integrated in each other's lives with, and I see things like you said F it a year ago. And in that F it moment, this is what we always talk about, Carla. Once we say that, things start to become more of an F it moment. We
Mhm.
start to say F it easier. We start to
Mhm.
move into new
Mm-hmm.
things that are scary easier. And I've seen you, Jen, even recently, right? With like our
Mm-hmm.
breathing and all the things we've been doing. You start caring more about you once you start doing those things. And I think that's important for women to hear and moms to hear. There's like a momentum that happens.
Yeah, yep, yep. Yeah, you take one step and you get a taste of the way it feels, you know. Yeah,
And then you don't know what else you're saying yes to, right? Or you don't know what else you're signing up for, or you don't know. And that's even like how I got here with like our breathing and our yoga and the things we're doing. It's because a year ago we said, fuck it. And we just
mm-hmm.
started signing up for shit. All of us. Like
Yeah.
we just all
Mm-hmm.
started signing up for new
You're
shit.
always sending me something. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm starting a class. I'm doing this. I'm like,
Yeah, Carla will send me.
go
She's like, "Oh, I
girl.
signed up for this coaching thing, and I signed up for that." I'm just like, oh, "We're all just fucking saying, okay."
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Because you know what? You have to invest in yourself, and that is hard. But once you make that effort proclamation, and if you really feel the fire, I mean, you're like, okay, I have to sign up for this stuff. Like it gives I mean, it gives you a more of a reason. Maybe you wanted to do something before, but you're like, this is part of it. Like I've got to start learning more, seeing more. You never know where it's going to take you.
mm-mm.
Yes. It does. It starts making you become more of a yes person.
Yeah,
Like you start being like, to the things that I probably would have said no to. No, you know what? Fuck it. Yes, I am gonna do that. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna take this class. I am gonna, go to this
yeah,
event. Like, because
yeah,
I think the effort moment is a craving to expand out of your comfort zone, because
yes,
you're not growing when you stay in that comfort zone.
yes,
And I know for
yes,
myself and for Romy and for you, it sounds like we were in that comfort zone and it wasn't
yes.
working for us.
Right. It wasn't comfortable.
It wasn't
Like
comfortable anymore.
it's called a
It was like
comfort zone,
stagnant mosquito water,
but
you know? Like, I was ready to
mud
get out of
water.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
The
those
reason we're laughing though is because all of us know that like that motherhood hits this moment where you're like, "Are what the this
is this my fucking life? Like,
so what on earth?
Yeah, like this
Yeah.
can't be my life.
This
Like,
can't be it.
Yeah.
like everything for me was fine, but it was like, but this can't be it. Like this is I want more. And I think that's where
Yep.
we all get to. It's like this is good.
Yep.
Like it's not where we're complaining, we're grateful, but there's got to be more. There's got to be
Yep.
more. And that's what
Yep.
that is. That's what that switch is.
Mm-hmm.
Searching for that more.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's what all of us have been doing for the last year. And I'm just really proud of all of us because every one of us is a good fucking mom. Every one of us shows up for our work, our homes, our children, our friends. And
Mm-hmm.
on top of it, we're not afraid to be like, but I need something more.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Yes. And then that domino effect, because you know what? The momentum that I had around, the effort moment and the tattooing that got me to the class in Pennsylvania, that got me on an airplane by myself, then got me on an airplane to Nashville to see a super good friend, then got me on an airplane to Atlanta to visit
Mhm.
my grandparents. Like it went on. Like I was like, I can do this. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would have hopefully eventually flew by myself, but I don't know when it would have happened,
Yeah.
it just opened up so much.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. That's really what it's all
Mm-hmm.
about. It opens you up to a new side of you too that you didn't know. And I
Yeah.
was telling Romy, like, there's been sides that I've seen of myself that I have not liked, but like it has really allowed for me to become confronted with that and really start to work towards
Yeah.
changing that. And had these things not happened with this, not having this effort moment, then I would have probably never become aware of it, or maybe down the line. But like, I'd rather be faced with it now than down the line,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Totally. It's like
yeah,
having a kid.
yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm an awful person. Awesome.
I'm not as good as I thought I would be. But you also have to have grace. You've got to have grace on yourself. And like,
Yeah.
even when we
Yeah.
become moms, like, let's just say this before I come into like this final question, Jen, like all of us before we became moms, like we had to step up and be like, when they sent us a newborn, like, oh, we're moms now. Like, there wasn't an opportunity to be like, am I capable of doing this? Am I an imposter?
No.
Can I be a mom? We were just
No.
fucking handed it like, you're now a mom. So this is your
And but
role.
it
That's
clicks
true.
on.
That is
I
true.
It
mean, it
does.
clicks on right away because you
Yes.
have that little baby next to you. What was that noise? Oh my God, it's dead. Is it alive? Like,
Become
I
a
mean, that was
mom.
morbid, but like, didn't mean to say that.
That is
But
that is a very good
every little
analogy.
sound, it's just, yeah.
It's like they say, like you don't ever get good at something unless you're actually doing it. And like
Yeah.
we didn't
Yeah.
know we would be, but we just had to do it. We got good at it.
Yeah.
I
At
feel
least
like
I
all
hope.
of us, I feel like that effort moment is when they hand you the baby for the first time and say, get in your car and good luck after the hospital. And like, we're just like, we're like, okay, I'm a coach. I have a podcast. I tattoo people. Okay. Like,
Go team.
go team, but you do it. Okay. So my last question, Jen, and like, we're so grateful for you coming on. It's important for people to hear what it's like to be in them. What
Yeah.
would you tell someone listening right now that is afraid? I want to go back to that question and not to your younger self, but what would you tell somebody listening right now who's thinking about like a mom just fucking going after something?
Thinking about. I mean, I think. Oh gosh, that's so hard. There are so many things. God, just try to trust your ideas. I think that's a big one. You're like, oh, I want to move to a farm. Farm life sounds really good, but that also sounds ridiculous. Why am I thinking? Just trust your ideas and really feel how does something like make your heart flutter, and then just start exploring and just go down a rabbit hole, and really let yourself get into it. What could the house look like? What kind of animals could I have?
Yeah.
What kind of crops could I grow? How cute could my kids be in front of a little barn? Whatever. Like, just let yourself go, go, go. you know?
I needed that right now because and you know this, both of you am in my thing, where I'm about to make some big jumps. And Jen, that's what I needed to hear is just trust your idea. Like I have an idea of what my life is going to look like. So I needed to hear
Yeah.
that. Like I need to trust that idea, even if it does seem far out.
But it makes your heart
It
flutter,
does. It
you
does.
know?
Yeah.
You love your idea.
Yeah, I do. I think like, right. What a great advice in there too is like, just fall in love with your ideas. Like fall in love with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Get creative with them. Um, I would love for you to share so everybody can go see your beautiful work and know that you have been chosen from your school and you've been tattooing and it is amazing. And the reason they do recognize you as being somebody who's made to do this is because you are. And I want everyone to be able to go follow your page. So where can people follow you and how can they reach out to
Thanks.
you?
Best thing is to go to my Instagram, and it is Jen Restores ATX, and Jen with one N. Jen
Perfect.
Restores ATX, and yeah, you can see all this stuff. You can DM me. Yeah.
We will put that Instagram up as well so people can reach out and follow and reach out to you for work. And then if you're okay with it, we would love to, through the video and through Instagram, be able to share your work and your page so people can see what you're
Of
doing.
course.
Yeah.
Please. Yes, please do. Yes. Come see me. Be a brave model.
I mean, I'm looking
Yeah.
at one right now.
She's looking at one.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now and I'm like, I would have never been able to tell a difference
I'm in
at
love.
all that this person didn't have her actual areola. Like it's so real. It's like
It's
it
so
looks
good.
like a nipple sticking out. Like
Yeah.
it's insane.
It's
That's amazing.
so good.
It's so good.
It's
Like
cool.
everybody needs to go and see what this looks like. It's crazy. That's awesome.
She's
Thanks,
talented.
girl.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, we're very proud of you, Jen. The fact that
Thank you.
you
Thanks for
started
having me
out
back.
when we started out with this, and look where
Yeah.
you've gotten on like
Yeah.
3 or 4 planes. Like,
Yeah.
that's huge.
No.
And you are
It is all
helping
huge.
change women's lives, so that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels awesome. We're all doing the right thing, ladies.
We are.
Yeah,
We are.
even when it doesn't feel right, it is.
It is. Even on
Yeah.
those hard days. That's why we're
Yeah.
here to share that. So this is where we're going to say,
Just
just
F
F it.
it.